Hello and welcome to the Wanda Lewis Show. We are so pleased that you've tuned in, you've gotten on your laptops, your iPads. Thank you for your continued support. I've missed you, so welcome back. Today we want to introduce to you Mr. Syron Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Smith is running for mayor of the city of Gary, Indiana.
Yes.
So I am pleased that you're here. We want to open up our doors and our stage to you. This is your platform today. So I want to ask you, why are you running for mayor of the city of Gary? Please take your time and let everyone know who Mr. Syron Smith truly is.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to meet you, so I appreciate that. I would say, first and foremost, I go by the name of SY, which is Cy Smith.
Okay.
People could be more comfortable with that versus Syron. I used to they used to crack jokes on my name in high school.
No.
But Cy Smith, I'm a total 14-year U.S. Navy veteran.
Wow.
Married father of 4.
Yes.
I'm a Chicago native.
Okay.
So I'm from Chicago, and I've been in Gary for 2 years now. I used to be there in 2001, so over 10 years ago as well.
Okay.
And people that know me know that my #1 passion is stopping the killing.
Okay. Yes.
Since growing up in Cabrini Green,
Okay.
where shooting and killing was an everyday challenge for us, in 1981, I asked God to let me grow up and do something about this killing.
Wow.
So this has been a journey for a long time. I was a naive young person thinking that when I got out the military that if I came back to Chicago, met with the politicians, we can create change. And unfortunately, I learned.
Okay.
And what I learned was that unfortunately, our politicians, because of the way our government is structured, if you're not a part of their system, they don't support you.
Wow.
And I hate to make that blanket statement, but I've been out here since November 20th of '94, and I haven't been shown otherwise. So that's over 20 years of this two-party system, and if you're not in either party, they tend to ignore you.
I see.
So after doing the diligent work of going out, organizing, getting people trying to see the vision, I said it's time for me to assume the leadership position politically so that I can implement the vision that I had a long, long time ago.
Excellent, excellent.
So in a nutshell, what that boils down to, and people say this already, what can you do different with Gary? Gary, Indiana has a population of 78,000 people right now. In the height of its prominence, it was 180,000 people.
Wow.
So something has happened that you have so many people leaving town, and unfortunately, it has the idea of being scary Gary. That's what people call Gary because of the violence. Last October, you had a gentleman that killed 7 women.
Yes, yes, that was in the news.
And their bodies were conveniently located in the 7 abandoned buildings of 10,000 that we have in town.
Wow.
And that points to leadership.
Okay.
So I believe that my military background puts me in a really strong position to bring some honest, firm leadership, some structure that will allow the people of Gary to have the confidence that they can, you know, open up and bring their ideas to the table to implement and make the city better.
Okay.
You know, Wanda, the key to the killing is I call it an acronym. It's called ICO, intent, capability, and opportunity.
Wow. Okay.
So we had to limit the opportunity, and opportunity comes from making sure that these primarily African American males who don't have a lot of hope feel like they have a role to play in society. If you look right now and you go on any street corner, not just in Chicago or Gary, Miami, Detroit, you see a lot of black males on the corners.
Yes.
Almost all wearing white T-shirts. That's the stereotype, but that's what's happening.
Right.
And we have to engage them. But when you engage them, what are you going to say to them?
Right.
So what I did, I took what I learned on the naval ship. It was 3,000 people.
Yes.
Everybody had a job.
There you go.
0 unemployment. Not one person on that ship didn't have a role to play.
Wow.
So the 78,000 people in Gary, under my leadership, everyone will have a role to play. Now, whether or not people fall into that role or not, we'll give them an option, but that's what it is. You have an option now versus a leader that don't have a vision for you. So what that boils down to is 20 different career industries. We talking technology, business, administration, nursing, construction. So it covers the gamut in terms of people that's white collar versus blue collar. But the key is everyone that it was conceived have a purpose. Do you have a leader that understands that, values that, and will invest in that? And that's who I am. That's what I do. So that's what I envision us doing, making sure that all 78,000 people in Gary have the option of falling into one of these 20 industries. And I'm meeting great people like you and your husband, or future husband, who are already professionals who can mentor and help them get to that next level. So I think that's worth running for mayor for.
Excellent. You sound like you're young but wise.
No, I have gray hair.
Strong.
You see that?
Let's not go there. So if you were asked, and I'm going to ask you, what is the challenge that you'd like to pose to the current leadership? I know there's another African-American female who's been in that position. We know Gary's had a tough time anyway economically. It's been a depressed area. A lot of folks, as you say, are migrating out. I remember when I was younger, there was a Mayor Gary Hatchett. So is he still, well, his legacy still in play? And what I want to pose to you then is, what can you do to really take Gary to the next level? And are you going to engage, the current infrastructure to get you there?
That's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to remember that. But first, I would say that society is different now. So he was actually, him and the mayor of Cleveland were the first African-American mayors in America in '67. And so they had a whole nother situation to deal with in terms of just the white community not being comfortable with, a black leader wondering if they were going to really, take over the town. So his issues were different than ours. With technology now and with transparency, I think it's much easier. So I can, without big dollars for advertisement, you can use YouTube, you can use social media to get your message out. So I really think that's going to change the landscape in terms of competing. But it all boils down to people. When a person look at me, can they see that this person will care about me and what I'm going through? And the fact that you've had 4 years of the incumbent, you can ask that question, well, this person hasn't shown it, let me get this person to try. So that's what I believe is going to happen. I haven't reached out to the current, I have tried, but I haven't connected with the current, with the Mr. Hatcher. His daughter just won, so she'll be on the city council. So if I win, we'll work together that way, but we haven't connected thus far.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's good. I think a lot of times when I have spoken with various political candidates in that very same chair, we understand that there is a need to change, but also we have to look at some of the traditions that have worked in the past as well. So it sounds like you're aligning yourself with both.
I'm middle ground.
You're middle ground, and that's probably where you're going to do your best and make quite an impact. It sounds like you're positioned to do so. When is the election?
172 days from today. Tuesday, November 3rd.
Okay, Tuesday, November 3rd. Okay, you've got a few months ahead, but time is flying by, isn't it? So if you could talk to someone who looks like you, as you said, and Gary, that young brother who is being racially profiled, perhaps, who does not have a strong sense of self. I'm just, making some generalities here. Maybe did not have a quote unquote strong male influence, but a father figure. What would you tell him today? And then why should he and many others obviously vote for you?
So my proposal is a 4,000 year boot camp center in Gary, Indiana, that covers every single neighborhood. This would be a $5 million institution that's going to build on 3 primary industries. Cleaning, that's something that you don't have to have a lot of skills to do. So it's an entry role. Landscaping, which is critical, and construction. So this is centered around males primarily.
So
hands-on, all physical, blue collar, but it's something that they can do. But the biggest thing is helping people see the value. So I would say to that young man, you want someone that recognizes the need to invest in you and not lock you up, and that who has the connections, because that's part of what you want from an executive in the executive branch, who can inspire others to come and invest. And I feel like I can do that. And so I hope they see inspiration in me and say that I can help bring that to them.
Excellent, excellent. I know we're being told we have to wrap up, but let me ask just the converse of that question.
Yes.
Why would the quote unquote establishment then also and equally embrace you? Because
they won't. Yeah, they won't, Wanda. What I tell people about that, 84% of the people haven't voted. They didn't vote in 2011. They didn't vote this last May 5th.
Okay.
Because our politics work with the same people. They get the elder vote and they just satisfy them and ignore the younger people. Okay. So my whole campaign is targeting the 84% that historically won't vote.
Right.
And the reason I think we can be successful there is because we have something to offer to them.
Yes.
So the elders, the people who are traditional voters, they're probably going to stick with the incumbent. But if you stick with that, you can expect more of what you have right now. So we're going after the people who say they won't change, and we're going to give them an option.
Well, I hate to quote this, but we're fired up and ready to go.
Let's do it.
Barack Obama was able to do it, so can you.
There you go.
So
yes.
I'm just so pleased to have met you. I'm excited about your campaign. I know you have a story. I want you to come back and share it with us.
Yes.
We hope it's a story of victory.
Yes.
But remember, just the fact that you're sitting right here and that you're taking on a cause as such, you've already won.
Thank you.
And we've won to have someone like you across the, the waters there to help us out too, as far as some inspiration. So is there anything else in any way that we can reach you? How can the voters get in touch with you?
Website is www.friendsofsysmith.com. So www.friendsofsysmith.com. That's the website, and that's the best way, because then you can see the vision for every neighborhood in Gary.
Amen. Well, thank you. It's just a
Wanda.
pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure
I
is
know
mine.
you're going to do just great.
Right.
Okay, well, we'll be right back. This is the Wanda Lewis Show. That's right.